Great. Good to see you.
See you too. Yeah, we just got out of Abby Greenlee's.
Oh, you did.
Yeah. Yeah. She went over week one essentially.
Okay.
We were discussing, yeah, removing any pages that really weren't applicable and having to do with
Okay.
shopping, membership.
Good.
We discussed talking about more about the about page next
Mhm.
week.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Since this is being recorded, I'm going to go ahead and jump in here. All right. So, for those of you, you can watch Abby Greenlee's, and that will give you another overview, but I don't want to be too repetitive. So I will go through the week one quickly, and then we'll look at some other examples. I do want to respect your time. You've been really great to show up, so I don't want to punish people for showing up, so I'm not going to keep you longer than necessary. All right, so the week one, you know it's due tonight, and I'm sure she discussed that you're just looking over your professional website. The navigation is primary. The order of your pages, you're going to have your contact page last. Um, Sometimes we need to clear up what a tagline is. In this case, it's just your skill set. We don't want three or four skill sets. If we can have one that's an umbrella, and I'll get into a little bit more about that in a second, but you want to identify that. So you're going to list that, and you're going to talk about your target audience. Who might your client be? And then you're going to look at a couple of competitor sites from your industry. So that could, someone asked me, does it need to be local? Of course not. Anywhere you find inspiration all over the world, great. But you're looking at their website. It's got to be their personal site, though, or their professional site, not uh, something about them on someone else's site. Because what you're looking at is the layout and design and functionality. Okay, so everyone knows how to access LinkedIn going through your profile on FSO, um, and then just using the full self credentials that you have. If anyone has trouble after that and they can't get in, then they want to make sure that they're looking at um, their bandwidth, that they have enough Wi-Fi, and they want to make sure that they're not having a problem with their another account that they may have, in which case they'll need to contact FSO support. We won't be able to help them with that kind of thing. But most people are just not going through the FSO profile, on the platform. What I tell you about the reading is this is really universal content that's going to help you in design and all these other things for years, right? For usability. But right now, if it is slowing you down, save it for later. It will enhance the experience for you, obviously. It's not hard reading, it's kind of a fast skim, but don't let it slow you down if it's getting in your way. That's how I feel about the reading. You're not going to be tested on it. So I feel you should know that going in because that's an hour or two that we're asking. Um, you'll get through it quicker probably, but at least that if for some. So you will upload your screenshot by using the image icon so that we can see it on FSO. Any questions about any of this so far? Kind of our basic stuff that you've been doing. Are both of
Um,
you in digital cinematography?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
did have a question real quick because I didn't want to go too far.
yeah,
This was today, October 1st, or like tomorrow, October 2nd. I don't know if you're in a different time zone. I just want to clarify.
right. Am I your instructor or is Abby your instructor? I
I believe Abby.
Okay. She may have it for Thursday. You want to double check
Okay.
whatever the
Okay.
platform says.
Okay.
Um,
Just wanted to confirm. Sorry.
no, absolutely. That is something really important, right? And we do go by Eastern Standard Time. So um, that's wherever you are, you're going to want to take that into account for sure. So that's a great question. But we do have two sections, and well, we have a number of sections, but we have two instructors that have been teaching this for many years together. And so we do have slight changes like that, like because I think she has something she's doing this week, so maybe it's Thursday, but maybe it's Wednesday. So double check. Um, yeah, so I think we're good on task one. Your certificate is basically what you're required to do. Um, Competitor research. Anytime you're producing anything, you're going to look at your competitors' work, right? You're going to find out what is out there and what caliber should you be working at, right? You always want to look at the best. If you're a painter, you want to look at the masters because that's going to seep into your work. If you're a filmmaker, you're going to look at the best films that you can because that's going to be a reflection, begin to reflect in your work. So garbage in, garbage out. We want to be really cautious about what we take in. Um, so you'll define what that is, uh, your audience in just a couple of sentences. This is for you, but we do have to make sure it's there for points, but this is for you. Two competitor site links that you have found, and we do need APA citation for that. And this is part of your accreditation, right? School Sale likes to stay ahead of anything they expect. We want to make sure we're going there and beyond, right? So we do need to have those APA citations. I don't mind if you use um, chat for that because it's very doable, right? It knows how to do that pretty well. You would just, pop in your URL and it's going to give you that, but you do have to certainly clarify that it's APA. Okay. So you'll submit your certificate, screenshot, and oh, sorry, I've got to go back to that because that's just how I am, and I'm here, and that's got to come out. So pardon me on that, but it had to be right.
I get it.
Yeah, right? Details matter.
It'd just be in the back of your head, and you're like, do I write it down now
I
in
know.
class? Yeah, just get it
I'd
done. I
I'd
get
move on and it would pop into my head in the middle of the night.
Yeah, if it takes less than 5 minutes, it doesn't really go on the to-do list anymore.
No,
It's like I'm gonna bust it out.
right.
Yeah.
Handle things once. That's the
Yes.
thing,
Yeah. Get it out. Yeah.
exactly. That's my motto. Time is a tool, and we have to learn how to use it.
True.
So a little bit about your target audience, who that client would be coming to your website, what your skill is, whether it's cinematography, whether it's film editing, your competitor links to those sites, and the citation for those links. So it's not a real heavy uh, week one so far. Um, the week two is when you are going to start going into your Wix. So I do want to jump into that really quick. We say that this is not a business e-commerce. We have a lot of MCBS students. This is an MCBS program, and there's a variety of skill sets that they are focusing on. Some are entrepreneurs and things like this. So we clarify we want to see examples of their work here, not so much us selling. At any time you can add e-commerce after the class, right? Um, but basically, you're going to showcase your work very simply and clearly. And the reason is when we get to week four, we're going to be looking at accessibility for everybody's site. And that means everything you put on your site is going to go through that filter of accessibility. If someone has overloaded their site and now it's bloated, that's going to be a big job for them in week four, much bigger than it needs to be. And it's also not going to be functioning as well. It's not going to be refreshing quickly. It'll be sluggish. So there's just a lot of reasons we say keep it simple. All right. Any questions so far about the first assignment? No. Okay. Like I promise, I'm not going to keep you long. And if you've already gone through this with Abby, let me know and I won't do it again. All right. So you looked at creating an account. Anybody here already have a Wix account?
I do not. Nope.
Okay.
No.
Well, it's a very simple website.
I did a long time ago.
Okay.
It's a complete refresh.
Mhm. Well, Wix is one of those things, spend an hour in it and you got it. for the most part. Some people will be a little overwhelmed at first and think that it's more complicated than it is. It isn't. You're only going to be working with a few icons and a few functions to do this, what we're doing. And it makes it pretty easy. So I'm going to show you just quickly. Were you to go in, all right, so when you go in, you're going to create an account like you would with anything else. Um, you're going to create with the Wix editor. You're going to say no without chat. And you're going to come down here and you can just go ahead and skip this if you want, because we're going to start this from scratch. It's just that way you don't have to remove any templates. You don't have to do it this way, but you won't have to remove anything. You can come back and do this later, but we can say draft. We could say that and continue. And I'm going to skip all of this. We don't want any of this stuff. Okay, it's just going to slow us down. We're going to skip all of this. Any of those things can be added later. And we're going to go to our dashboard. One of the things I want to point out for sure is this domain. We don't want this. This is, students will confuse this with the title. So they'll say, let's go. And it will ask for money because a domain is not the same as just Wix free site. So we're going to forget about that. We're going to roll up here and say design site. We're going to say pick a template. We're not going to use a template, but we get there by saying pick a template. Now we're going to come over here and choose a blank template. We have always let you use whatever template you choose, but you do have to remove a lot of things. If you come to the blank template and you start from scratch, you don't need to view it. There's nothing there. Even if you use these, you have to work to get rid of all these placeholders. But we can begin here. And of course, it takes a second. Close all those. And over here, you've got basic menu. Okay. Once you start using those, these little prompts are going to disappear. But really, you're going to spend most of your time here in the add elements and here, pages and menu. You might go here, but not likely. You don't need these. You don't need that. You might check your media that way if you want. You don't need that. But you will be here and here. All right. So we've started something and we have nothing. Now notice this is called add elements. Over here, I know you guys have been in a session already, so you can add elements here or you can select here. The difference is if I'm up here in my header and I select elements, it's going to put me in the vicinity of what I need. Okay. I could do this and the same flyout menu will occur, right? And then what you're going to do is drag navigation into your header. Okay. Now there's no pages here because I only have one page. So I would go up here and you can watch this later if you want. It's recorded. And I'm going to add, let's see, get out of this. Pages and menu. I have my home page. Okay, that's this page right here. I'm going to add a page and I'm going to make it a blank page. And I'm going to call it, this new page, I'm going to call it about. Okay, I don't have to remove anything. I'm going to create another page and call it projects. You can call it, films, videos, works. We'll call it works because it's short for now. Okay, so these are, you don't even have to have a home page. We don't require it. If you have a little sizzle reel that you want to put on your home page, that's good for that. If not, you can get rid of it by deleting that. And now the about becomes your home page. Or it could be your works. And then you would have to go in here and set it as your home page. But it's going to be something like this. You only need one more page, and that's your contact. I'm not going to add a blank one, although we could. I'm going to use their basic because then everything that we require you to have is going to be there. So I'm going to add this. Okay. And get out of this. So right now you have everything here that you're going to be submitting, all your pages, right? This does have placeholder, so that would have to be either removed or updated. This would then have a gap. You grab these purple toggle here to close that up. If there is something here, like let's say that this is here, it won't go. So if it doesn't move, there could be something invisible, like in white text on white background, and that would fix that. We're going to take your phone number out. You can use a free Google number, but we ask you not to put personal information out there, even though everybody has all of our information. And then you want to update this, select it, and there's a link. You select your link, you're going to select email, put your email there. Okay, and then it will be linked to that. Same for social, click it. And here you have your socials. Let's say you only have a LinkedIn, which is really the only one we require. See a little trash can there. You could add a YouTube. Choose the style that works for you. Come down here on the bottom right and add it to your gallery, and there you have it. Now over here, you'll see what you want to call it, and this is where you're going to add your link right here. It'll open the same window. YouTube is an address on the web. It's going to open to that, and you'll paste in the URL for your film or whatever you have. All right, so select done. And now we have just what we needed here. Okay. And so that's pretty straightforward there. We do have your footer. This. And the same thing, you've got add elements. You're just going to have text. And this is the theme text. We want to stay with the theme. And you would take that, grab it in there. And here, hold down Option G, and you'll get your copyright symbol, 2025, and your name. Okay, that's all that you need to put here. You might want to put your social icons there, depending. You might want to center this, right? So there you have this. It's already got your form, everything you want. If you don't like that form, you can go here and add a contact form, right? If you prefer a different one, but you won't have to remove anything. So when we go to your about, see how fast I can do this. You can either select the add elements here or up here, either way. And we're going to add an image. You're going to upload an image from your computer. Okay, so this may not be the format you want. You might want something more vertical. Place that, and in that container, come over here. Again, our text, drag some text over, paragraph text. And you can change the size. That's a little large. 18 is good. This particular font, let's see. That's a little big, but we're going to move on. And you're going to put your about content there that you'll be writing. Okay. Close up a little bit of the gap. And you'll probably have a picture here and something like that. Now, when you go to your works page, go here. Let's say you want to add a video. Can drag a YouTube box. over here, and all you have to do is change the video and put the new video URL there. Okay. You can copy this twice if you want, create a little pattern. There are other ways, galleries and things you can do, but this is certainly someone would get full credit for this. And you can go here. Again, you're going to want some text, keep it consistent, the same style. We changed that to 18, so let's go ahead and make that 18. You can come up here and save it to themes. You can come up here and choose something else, but let's just do that. And that's where you're going to put your asset guide. You're going to have the title, what your role was in that video, etc. And then you're going to have things aligning, same amount of space. You could add a third one. You aren't required to have more than three. Um, Students are at different levels in different places in the program. Some don't have as many as others. But that's one thing you can do. Okay. So at that point, I think you're almost done, except we have the mobile over here, and you are responsible for mobile. We have our header, right? All this is working okay, but we've got our header we have to go back to. So on our desktop, let's see, let's move this. We could probably make it smaller. And we need to put your name and your tagline. That's what you're working on this week, right? So we're going to have some text. We can put a heading 1 up here. Every page should have a heading 1. It doesn't mean the heading has to be that large. You could change your heading 1 size as long as it's labeled heading 1. A search engine and screen reader will flag it as that and recognize it. It doesn't have to be that size, though. We can make it smaller if we want. Let's say it's a 32. And now we can save that to theme if we want. And now our heading 1 is that size. So this is where you're going to put your name and your skill set. Okay. And you can, lay that out how you want. You can have bold or not. You can change. If you change font, just keep 2 fonts, one for headings and one for paragraph. But maybe you want your headings to be something else, something heavier, uh, something bigger, however you want it. Okay. Uh, all right. And if you did nothing but this, it would be right. It would not have your carts, anything to take out, nothing, no background images, nothing to take out. That doesn't mean it has to stay bland. If you wanted, you can then go in later. This does have a colored theme, but you could change the background. Don't put images, they're too cluttered, and you can choose your colors and things like this, right? You can make some design choices, what have you, okay? Same with the heading, you can change that color, all of that. All right, I'm going to stop right there. I wanted to see how much I could give you and how far we could get into that. But that's just, some very basic, that's by the end of the month, if you have this, you're good. It takes a while for us to get students all the way through that, beginning with your header and your footer, you know, your tagline, your name, getting those things set up. But that's basically um, where we are on that. Okay, are there any questions at all about this week or the future? This is not, obviously, this isn't done this week. This is the whole month that you're doing this.
No, I can't think of anything. Yours was more additive and Professor Greenlee's was more subtractive, so it was good to see the different ways you can approach
The two,
creating a
right.
site. Yeah. Like, yeah, because it's at one point you're just gonna have to, yeah, you want your own style or whatnot. I can see the merits in creating from the ground up now. I might approach it that way myself. So no, I appreciate
A lot of people are really fond of some templates, and
it.
you could do this, and then you could explore templates and say, hey, I think I want to try this. And again, there are other ways to do this. You can add galleries, that are going to be, scrolling. There are other things you could do. This was just a walkthrough of some of your basic
Yeah.
tools, right? Um, but yeah, you'll be walked through the way Abby uh, walked you through with templates. Okay, so
Mhm.
you're more than welcome to do that. I do this kind of just to show you what you could do and to kind of get you into the text and the pages.
Yeah. Different
Okay?
approaches. I got you.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody showing up who could, and kudos to you for hanging out for 2 sessions. Make sure that you contact us with any questions whatsoever. The best way to contact me. Um, so, Mr. Libby, are
Yes.
you in my class or are you in Abby's?
I am an Abby's.
Okay, so you're both in Abby's.
Yeah.
Um, for a few days, I'll be checking her email. So if you have any questions, you can contact me. She should have given you my email, I think. If
Yeah, that's
Yes.
there.
Okay, if you contact her, it'll probably tell you to contact me. So great, is happy to meet you, and I rather doubt I'll be seeing you again in another session because you're probably going to fly through this course. But if I do, I hope I get to see your finished work.
Yeah. We'll show up.
All right, great. All right, all right.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
You too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.